Oh, you already know what we gonna do. Hey. Well, if you guessing it's me, you guessed correctly. I just stay with a stallion. You would swear I wasn't equestrian. I'm ahead up with that pipe. Call that Nancy Kerrigan. Stay on the greenest greens. Call us vegetarians. You be on that minor league, but we smoke professionally. I do my job exceptionally. On point like a decimalist. The way I ride on the
Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Week 6 of The Gut versus the Geek, presented by FantasyLlama.com. Of course, I'm Aaron Vella, The Gut.
I'm Brad Reimer, the Geek. Let's get this patty started!
All right, party boy, let's calm down here. Let's put that geek hat back on, and let's dive into the analytics from last week.
Overall, the system did great again this week, staying pretty consistent. RB1 missed, and kicker missed as well. The only one I'm really concerned about is RB1.
All right, so I guess this science stuff does kind of work. Nice work, Geek. But more importantly, who won the wager last week?
Well, although the llama works, I would say the Geek has not been working. This is 2 weeks in a row now that the Gut wins, and it's hard for me to stomach being the Geek, having the numbers, doing the statistics and the runs. Mathematics are just not in my favor right now. Something's going wrong in the world of football.
The only thing wrong with football is data geeks like you think you guys have numbers that determines winner. It's all about the gut. Which leaves me one word.
Man,
dance.
You are one pathetic loser.
I could really get used to that. But on more business. Now let's go into the picks for the week. So, Geek, what's the llama saying for quarterback?
After a huge performance last week against the Broncos, Romo comes back this week against the Redskins, a division rival, and literally lights up the scoreboard.
Tony Romo, hard to argue. He did light it up, looked really confident. Beyond moral victories, maybe he'll get an actual victory this week. On to the Guts pick. And this is a gut pick. Not sure why I'm saying this, but the gut tells me so. Matt Schaub of the Houston Texans taking on the Rams defense. I think he puts points up this week.
Matt Schaub. I don't close to calculating that reasoning, but that's okay. I'm going with Andrew Luck against the Chargers at Chargers. It's going to be a big day through the air for both teams.
Andrew Luck, huh? I don't know. I think that neckbeard's going to get in the way in the San Diego Heat. But anyway, on to the Llamas pick at running back. What's it saying, Geek?
I'm sticking with Luck. But this week for running back, the Llama has Arian Foster, Houston.
Arian Foster. I actually like that a lot. You can see them going back to the basics, and he's always a big piece of that puzzle for them. For the gut this week, I'm going to go with DeMarco Murray. Like you said, Romo went huge. I see him getting a nice opening as a result of Romo's confidence. Who do you go with this week?
Marco Murray's actually proving his critics wrong here this year, and hopefully, knock on wood, he continues and finally gets his value. But I would say for me this week is Doug Martin. They're going to establish a running game with Tampa, and being at home, they're going to beat Philly with the run and Glennon.
Figures you'd go with somebody named the Muscle Hamster. Anyway, enough with running backs. Who's the llama saying at wide receiver?
I don't even know what the Muscle Hamster means, but the numbers say he's going to do well. Yet, let's move on to wide receiver, and like I said, Llama thinks that Dez Bryant is going to have a big day. Romo, big day. Dez Bryant, big day. It equates.
Dez, love him. Dude is an absolute beast. On to the Guts pick this week. I'm going with Torrey Smith. Main reason is Clay Matthews is out for the Packers. Should give Flacco plenty of time to throw that big deep ball, and Torrey's his main target there. Who you going with, Geek?
Torrey Smith shows up in my top 10, so I like that as well. Numbers never lie. But this week, although it pains me, I wanted to pick Reggie Wayne, but I have Andrew, and I think he's going to T.Y. against San Diego again. Aerial assault.
With T.Y., huh? I want to argue, but I won't. He's on my personal team, so I like the pick. Now on to the Llama's pick at tight end. What's he saying?
Right, you aren't going to argue with the math, or the llama, or the geek, because the math is good. Anyway, tight end this week for the llama says Jimmy Graham. That's pretty consistent.
I think what you meant to say there, Geek, is Jimmy Graham. Solid pick. The guy's an absolute monster. The gut, I'm going with Garrett. Don't call me Jimmy Graham of the Houston Texans. Owen Daniels, broken leg. They need somebody else to turn to in that play-action passing game, and he's the man. Who do you got?
Hopefully my pick this week doesn't mimic what happened last week with Scott Chandler getting pretty much 1 point. I'm going with Jordan Reed, Washington versus Dallas. RG3's big target, favorite target in the end zone.
Jordan Reed, huh? That sounds an awful lot like a gut pick versus a geek pick, but we'll go with it. Now on to everybody's least favorite position and mine, kicker. What's the llama say?
It might be your least favorite position, but when my kid plays football, he's going to be a kicker and avoid the concussion for his brain to be solid and be able to do mathematical skills like me. But this week, Llama's going with Matt Prater again.
So your kid's going to be the kicker, huh? Protect that brain. Well, it's good to know that my kid will lock yours in a locker and pee on him. Anyway, Prater, like the pick, he's going to put points up. Against the Jags, come on. My kicker, Adam Vinatieri, Sunshine State of California. Is that even right? I don't know. Who do you got?
Urinate on you, you jerk. Anyway, moving forward, I'm going to say Mike Nugent this week up in Buffalo. Cincinnati, it's going to be a closer game than most would think. Going Mike Nugent, urinating on Vinatieri.
So you're trusting Buffalo with Nugent. By Buffalo, I mean the weather in Buffalo. I'm going to have to get my boy Utica Tony on the line to get a little update on that. But anyway, that goes for another day. What's the llama saying for defense this week?
Utica Tony, have you talked to him lately? His Giants are just not doing well. Anyway, moving forward with the defense special teams, Llama picks Tampa Bay Buccaneers going against Nick Foles.
I actually really do like the Bucs pick this week. I mean, you have a young kid, Nick Foles, vacationing to Revis Island. Advantage, Revis Island. For the gut this week, I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. Angry coming off their first loss of the season. And I don't know if you know this, Geek. Your numbers may not recognize this. They play with 12 people at home. Who you got?
Yes, I'm familiar with the 12th man, and no, it does not compute. It never will. It makes no sense. I'm going with Cleveland Browns this week versus Detroit at home. Even with Calvin, he's probably going to be 50%, and that does not mathematically work well for Detroit.
Okay, now on to one of my personal favorites, the straight winners, the Llama Locks of the Week. First game, everybody knows, Denver Broncos over the Jacksonville Jaguars. No more needs to be said than those two team names. Going on to the next one, the Cincinnati Bengals over the Buffalo Bills. Can anyone name me their starting quarterback? I can't. And finally, the Niners over the Cardinals. Easy enough. Locks.
Now to my favorite segment where statistics matter. We're going to give you the winners versus the spread in the cover dogs. If you don't know what winners against the spread mean, don't bother.
That's right, Geek. So let's get to this week's games. The Jets, +2 at home against the Steelers. Steelers cover easy as they come off their bye week and they reek of desperation. Then you go on the game 2. The Patriots, -3 at home against the Saints. That high-pressure defense and Drew Brees to Jimmy Graham get the cover easily. Those are your Week 6 cover dogs. All right, everybody, we'd like to thank you for tuning in to Week 6 of the Gut versus the Geek presented by FantasyLlama.com. And remember, score big or go home.
Thanks from the Geek as well. And remember, fantasy sports and picking this stuff is all for fun. And that's it. Everybody enjoy their weekend and good luck on your games.